9th. Grace Nganga, KTN News, Nairobi.
Well, that report by Grace Nganga is a precursor to the brief conversation I'm set to have with IEBC Commissioner Francis Wanderi, who's just joining us in studio. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here to talk to Kenyans.
Well, 29 days to go to the general election. I must say, IEBC must be busy with all the preparations, just meeting stakeholders. Tomorrow and Tuesday, we expect that stakeholder engagement. Perhaps let's start on that, all to do with the national election conference that's set to be held on Monday and Tuesday. IEBC meeting various stakeholders. What exactly is the electoral conference all about, and what are the expected outcomes of this two-day event?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the National Election Conference is meant for us to bring all the stakeholders together, the observers, the religious leaders, the media, and all Kenyans from all walks of life, for them to discuss with IEBC the value and the need for everybody to come out and vote. So it sensitizes Kenyans on the election.
Okay.
Two, we have invited guests from other countries, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and we are sharing with them the experiences that they have gone through in their own countries. So we are trying to pick the best practice. We have been talking with them, but we find it is very important for them to talk directly to Kenyans. We will be having sessions, groups, focus groups, discussions, panel discussions, when we discuss certain various topics relating to the elections. So that is what we are doing, and we expect that by the time we finish the two-day conference, we will come up with recommendations on how best we're going to mobilize Kenyans to come out and vote on 9th of August.
Let's start on an issue that's close to the heart of Kenyans when we talk about election, all to do with electoral integrity. How exactly will this conference perhaps enhance electoral integrity 29 days to the general election?
First and foremost, this is not the first time you're engaging with a lot of these people. Some of these people, like Ghana, they have been visiting us. Our teams have visited them to learn the best practices. And we have copied the best from Ghana. For example, 2 weeks ago, we had an engagement with people from Ghana, Commission for Election, in Mombasa, and they were explaining to our media, Kenyan media, on how best to cover the elections during the way they do it in Ghana.
All right.
So these are some of the practices we are looking for that our media is going to employ, so that they can be able to tell Kenyans, particularly transmission of results from the polling stations, because that is very key in terms of integrity of the elections. Two, how we organize the processes, and that is also very important. And the reason why we think media is very, very important, and that is one of the reasons why we had a meeting, pre-conference meeting today, is because we want media to be our partner in this journey.
All right.
We want media, all of you, to cover the elections, announce the results as they are announced at the polling stations by our presiding officers.
Okay.
That's important.
As simple as that.
In terms of transparency, we have nothing to hide. We want everybody to know what is happening at every point in every corner of Kenya.
Well, that's something to laud. Definitely bringing on board members of the fourth estate, who are the citizens' watchdog. Let's take a look at something you mentioned a little bit earlier. You mentioned observers will be present in that two-day conference, right?
Yeah.
And it brings me back to 2017, where we had amongst the observers the EU, who are actively observing the general election. They give a clean bill of health to the 2017 general election, which was later on, annulled by the Supreme Court in one way or the other due to various technicalities. How exactly will we hold our observers to, a different pedigree when it comes to vetting, to equally who will be involved in the observers, especially the international groups?
Right now, we have local observer groups led by ELOC.
Okay.
We have observers from African Union. We have observers from European Union, from all over, all major observers. They are here, from African Union as well. And IGAD, they have all visited our offices, and they are accredited. So the observer function is to look at the process of the elections, the way it is going through. And that is why we encourage observers to get polling stations all over the country. They record, they see whether you are following the procedures. They see whether you are transmitting the results properly. They see whether the agents have signed the forms as required. That is what they record. Now, the issue of 2017, when they give the election clean bill of health, and then the judges nullified the election. It's a tricky one because observers give their report in terms of what they have observed. However, when it comes to judges and in the decision, the Supreme Court, they are guided by the law. It's not that the observers don't follow the law, but there are certain technicalities that were brought in. For example, opening of the servers was an issue, which was done, but by the time the Supreme Court was making the decision, they said that it was not done. And that is one of the reasons that caused the nullification. The other one, transmission. Transmission of results. Where there was transmission of the image at the polling station and data. And the Supreme Court ruled that the data should not have been transmitted because it is not in law. But that does not make the election invalid. All right. That's the difference between observer and the legal position of the Supreme Court.
Fair point. We'll definitely incorporate international observers as well. As we finalize today, the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati was on record saying that due to the ongoing court cases, so elections in some regions may be deferred in one way or the other, especially if these regions and the court process sort of defers the elections and the printing of ballot papers and whatnot. I'm trying to get his exact words, but something in line with that. And we definitely have the candidates list gazetted by IEBC just today. We have some candidates missing, and we just ran a story a little bit earlier on one of the Senate aspirants in Kiambu, Karungu Wathangwa, whose court case was just concluded recently. I think the court gave a clean bill of health in one way or the other that this gentleman was not removed from office, as it was claimed a little bit earlier, but he should be on the candidates list, but he isn't. So how exactly will you go about this, deferring elections in certain regions where the printing of ballot papers has been delayed in one way or the other?
Well, it is possible to do that. And what we are saying as a commission, if there are 3 or 4 positions that the court has not determined the fate of the candidates, it is unnecessary for us and costly for Kenyans to go and print ballot papers. Then you are told those ballot papers you cannot use them because this candidate should be included. So what you are saying is this: we have a deadline by which we must deliver our ballot papers back in Kenya. That is 29th of this month. So if by the process we find that the court is delaying the decision, we will certainly not be able to delay the rest of the elections because of one candidate or two. That is the logic behind it. But as for candidates who was cleared by the court and then his name is missing, that is simply because by the time we sent the names of candidates to the government printer, it was on 1st of this month. There was no way his name would have appeared. 2, the decision of court was okay. But if the IEBC feels that that decision is not right, we shall appeal against that decision of the court. So it is not automatic that we must put him in the register. We have to look at the merits of the decision of the court, and then depending on the legal advice from our legal advisors, we shall either appeal or comply. But most likely we are going to appeal.
Interesting.
Oh, we have appealed already.
Okay, makes sense. Commissioner Francis Wanderi, thanks for your time. Definitely taking a look at some of the issues arising around the election. 29 days to go, and tomorrow and Tuesday we expect IEBC to meet various stakeholders in that national electoral conference, where the commissioner was definitely breaking some of the goals around that particular conference, the expected outcomes, and a little bit of issues thereafter. Thanks for your time, Commissioner. All right, let's take a short break right here on Checkpoint. But as we do, remember tomorrow, despite it being a holiday, members of the Fourth Estate have definitely come together to ensure you, as Kenyans and Nairobi residents, are in tune with the candidates who are set to vie for the governor's position in Nairobi. We'll be holding a Nairobi gubernatorial debate tomorrow, where we'll definitely put the candidates to task to explain their vision and mission for the county of Nairobi, county number 47, which definitely contributes majorly to the country's GDP. Make sure you catch that tomorrow in the afternoon, and definitely KTN News will be at the forefront covering that particular debate in a way only we can. We take a short break. We'll be back with more.